So, do you want a headphone jack but no microSD, or microSD but no headphone jack? I'm Rio Gion and welcome to the channel. Both phones rock the Snapdragon 888 chipset, which is nice because the smaller phone isn't getting gimped. Right off the bat, if you want a headphone jack, you're gonna have to get the Zenfone 8. If you want microSD expansion, you gotta get that 8 Flip. If that's the only thing you're here for, then I'll save you some time, you can click away. For the rest that's still here wants to know a little bit more, the 8 has a 5.9 inches Super AMOLED display, rocking 120Hz, 1080 by 2400, so it's pretty nice considering that this is a smaller phone. Now the larger phone is kind of disappointing because it's also 1080 by 2400, which is fine, but it's 90Hz. This is something that either does not matter to you, but on principle, since the 8 Flip costs more, you should in theory be getting more. So you do get a larger screen, 6.67 inches, so I guess that makes up for the price difference. Both phones you can get up to 256 gigs of storage, but the 8 Flip has the MicroSD Expansion and the 8 has a headphone jack, which is a weird trade-off because I would think that the 8 Flip would have both considering it's the more expensive phone. I'm guessing there's an 8 Flip Pro Plus similar to something like the Zenfone 7 Pro, so here's hoping that they do that. If they don't, oh well. The Zenfone 8 has a Gorilla Glass Victus, but the 8 Flip has Gorilla Glass 6, which is something I did not think was mentioned before figuring it out, so I kind of figured I'd tell you this now. The more I think about it, the more I think the 8 Flip is a bad deal, but hey, it's got microSD, so they have that going for them, which is nice. For the camera on the 8, there's two, but they choose two of the best ones, which can double up as 4 with good software. And judging from the sample, I can see that the 8 has better image quality than the 8 Flip, which sucks because the 8 Flip should be better, but it's not. The 8 Flip uses the exact same camera setup as hardware as the 7 Pro, so it's pretty much a carryover, which the 8 uses new hardware with similar specs. Numbers on the spec sheet doesn't really tell the whole story for camera, but from my eyes looking at the samples, the 8 does have better image quality and video quality, which is odd because the 7 Pro have OIS and EIS, while the 8 Flip apparently doesn't have OIS. So does this mean the camera on the 8 Flip is actually worse than the 7 Pro? Which makes no freaking sense because they're using the same camera hardware. At least that's what they're telling us. The more I think about it, the more I'm led to believe that the 8 Flip is a giant middle finger because microSD, so you're getting a lot worse phone for the money just because you have microSD. So this is one of the easier topics to talk about because the 8 Flip has 5000 mAh, the 8 got 4000, which all specs being pretty much the same, the 8 Flip's gonna have better battery life. Unless I'm wrong and for some reason some dude posts a battery comparison between both phones and we somehow figure out the 8 Flip somehow manages to have worse battery life. If the 8 Flip does have worse battery life, then that's it. There's no comparison. Just buy the 8 or wait for the 8 Flip Plus, Pro, Super, Max, Extra, if such a thing actually exists. Overall, this is bad because I was going into the video hoping there was gonna be more of a fight. The more research I do, there's a clear winner. So unless you really want microSD with Snapdragon 888, then just get the 8 because the 8 just seems like a better phone based on data, spec sheets, sample videos. It's sad because part of me really wanted the 8 Flip, and I want to be the one that tells you guys the 8 Flip is worth it, but it's not. So I guess if you want the Flip camera, just wait for the 8 Flip Plus, Ultra, Mega, Extra, Super Max, if such a thing exists. If not, then you're probably better off going with the 7 Pro if you really want the good flippy camera. If you're new, click subscribe, the bell, like, thumbs up for more content. You guys stay awesome.